Hello crypto friends, so that's the intro for our new Trader Pro alert system. TraderPro.com just put out a video on YouTube to check out on our channel if you're interested for more information on that, or just check out the website. We'll be talking about that a bit more as we add new alerts, as we highlight alerts to be utilizing. You know, we know when Bitcoin's in a very bullish market that certain things are good for buying. You know, first 5 minute oversold conditions, good for buying. So there's those kinds of alerts that are good in certain market conditions, and we'll highlight what those are as the market conditions continue to develop. So Bitcoin, the bulls are obviously still in full control at this point with the daily higher high and anything over 9,078, a daily higher low. I'm just a little bit cautious at this area. Bulls are a bit tired. They've been running a marathon with no weekly consolidation for quite some time now, and I'm just watching for signs of a little bit of a shift. I'm watching this resistance line, which is still rejecting the price. It is a bit of a rising wedge. There is a, I could do a line here, which has 2 touches. We want 3 touches for it to be valid. It's certainly a valid resistance line for me, not really a valid support line. So I would either be watching this setup, or if I wanted to draw a different support line, I could draw that support line using this support level way back. And this one wouldn't have just touched it, but I'm more interested with the resistance. If we reject from that resistance line and lose the daily uptrend, we know weekly consolidation is likely underway, as that would be the most notable momentum shift away from the bulls that we've seen recently. Here's what it looks like on the shorter term time frames. We double topped just at that level. So zooming out a little bit, 4-hour chart, anything above 9,521 is a higher low. So if I want to use a tighter stop loss level and I don't want to use 9,078 and I want to save 4%, maybe I'm using the 4-hour uptrend as my short-term guide. Higher low and continuation into this morning. Inside bar currently forming. Hourly time frame still just fine. Even though we rejected from that uptrend resistance line, even though we are double topping at the current high, the hourly exponential support is holding on at this point. So no red flags just yet. But again, it's just one of those gut feelings that says, be a little bit cautious. That resistance line is not enough for me to exit any bullish position, but it is enough for me to be on my toes a little bit. So that's where Bitcoin stands. The Bitcoin dominance chart is due for a bounce. So knowing that the Bitcoin dominance chart is due for an oversold bounce, there's 2 ways that this could play out. Number 1, an oversold bounce on this chart plays out with Bitcoin maintaining a daily and 4-hour uptrend. If that happens, that means Bitcoin's going to be breaking out and the altcoins are going to be moving slower following it up. The second scenario is this oversold bounce takes place, Bitcoin consolidates and loses the daily uptrend, and that means the altcoins are going to pull back hard if this oversold bounce is taking place. That's the way that I use this Bitcoin dominance chart and the Bitcoin pairings charts to know where should I be looking for strength. Who is stronger bull? Who is a stronger bear? And knowing that a short-term bounce is likely here, it's going to determine whether it is the altcoin bulls just moving slower with a new leg up than Bitcoin is, or the altcoin bears coming out more fiercely than the Bitcoin bears on any consolidation. That being said, we are just looking for a Bitcoin dominance chart to give us a daily lower high, anything under 6803, which is a couple dollars away. What's the 4-hour chart look like here? Bulls attempting to build a base, have to change the trend, and doesn't want to come up here, but currently struggling to do so. There's the 4-hour chart, big upper wick, but no follow through. Have to get over the 4-hour exponential resistances just like any other cryptocurrency that we are used to charting. Ethereum is a raging bull. Anything on the daily above 184.29 keeps the bulls in full control. Tons of volume in their favor. Again, weekly chart, absolutely extended. The last weekly higher low, it hasn't happened. We moved right off of 116, and at this point, we have bounced almost 100% with no weekly consolidation. So again, longer term entries at these levels, not advised whatsoever. Short term, little day trades or maybe a 1 to 2 day trade, that's okay. But you don't want to be looking at long-term entries now. You're waiting for a weekly higher low for those long-term entries. 4-hour support, just little touches, 254 cents, 205.41. Exponential support hasn't even been touched. And we'll just be looking for a daily higher low. And a really comfortable spot to be in as a bull is when you're in an uptrend and the last daily higher low price level is below the current 12-period exponential support, because we know most often the first touch of that support at least sees a temporary stop to a pullback, and the bulls attempt to bounce off of it. Obviously, we don't always bounce off of it, but it's at least a little bit of a safety net above our last daily higher low. The ETH BTC chart is on fire, increasing bull volume as well. We are watching the monthly time frame for this trend change to attempt to take place, with 2304 as the level it has to break. And at this point, we're less than 10% away from a monthly trend change. The weekly chart here, there it is, 2304 is that level that the bulls need to break. And we could potentially be looking at Ethereum as a stronger bull than Bitcoin in 2020 if that monthly break takes place. Litecoin, daily higher low set, 66.51. Continuation of the uptrend, again getting a little bit tired for these bulls. Little double bottom, 70.92, 71.11. That's the most short-term, most important short-term support level. But I'm most concerned with the daily higher lows, because when they are lost, we look for a weekly higher low to form. Last little consolidation on Litecoin on the weekly chart was 38.74. Again, almost 100% away. LTC BTC leveling out, almost a double top here. Again, just more example of the bulls getting a little bit tired. That's the range that we care about, 72.58 to 77.80. Double top at resistance, but we did hold support. And if this breaks, that gives us an indication that the Bitcoin dominance chart is likely bouncing as well. XRP USD, bulls still in control, 4-hour time frame, big long lower wick. You can see it's still not that great in terms of liquidity. Let's see exactly what that drop looked like. One 5-minute candle, a bunch, many millions of coins, which results in about $1 million plus, dumped to 26, bounced to 28, and then full recovery. So bulls did buy that dip. Just something to be aware of, that with a lack of liquidity, that is more common. 287 and 288, little double top, but the bulls have a lot of space. I wouldn't consider that our daily higher low. That little 5-minute candle is not a fluke, but that's not a clear daily pivot for me. I'm still looking at 236 as a little daily higher low. Binance, nice volume. After not really participating here at the end of January and the start of February, while a lot of other altcoin bulls were flexing their bull muscles, Binance biding its time and following through in a big way now, really turning things on. So that's a good sign for these bulls. The resistance after the top here of 2084 and 21 will be 2134 after that. 4-hour time frame, bulls in complete control. Anything above $19 is a 4-hour higher low. We can pull back 7% and still be in a 4-hour uptrend. Again, the weekly time frame has not consolidated since the low of $12. 2180 is the weekly resistance, and if we reject from that, there's going to be a whole lot of people looking for weekly inverse head and shoulders setups and trying to buy this weekly higher low to then be looking for a weekly trend change. Have to lose the daily uptrend for a weekly lower high to be set compared to 2180. XTZ USD. We have not set a daily higher low at this point in a very long time. And this is USDT on Binance. So every single day has been a higher low for the last 12 days in a row. When that pattern breaks, we look for a daily higher low to form, and we look to the exponential support to be our guide. Very extended. Sideways trading right now, and if we break 212, that's going to be an indication of daily consolidation about to take place, in my opinion. As far as the weekly chart goes for XTZ, obviously bulls in complete control, a very different setup than a lot of other names. Because we have a weekly higher low, we did change the weekly trend. A lot of other names have not done so. BCH USD has been a bit of a guide for early indication action for the bulls. We got a cup and handle on the daily, confirming in a big way. Anything on the daily chart now above 371.92 is a higher low for me. And the 4-hour chart, again, look at the wick. I'd be curious to see if that happened at the same time as it did on XRP, 8:45 a.m. Huge flush. Again, that liquidity is a bit scary. To drop 5% plus in one 5-minute candle is not ideal. Let's just see if that was at the same point in time. 845. XRP, 845. So something going on here. That's Bitfinex and Coinbase. So different exchanges, but something at 8:45 a.m. And I did not notice that earlier. Obviously, the major coins, they did experience that as well. So I'm going to have to go back and double check. Let me know if you know the answer, if there was a news headline or something. Obviously, the coins were, for the most part, able to completely disregard that dip. But it did happen on multiple exchanges and multiple coins. Could have just been a test as well for the bears to see, are these bulls still buying the dip? And the answer is yes, at this point. BSV USD. So we got the bull break of 292.22, but we did not break any other resistance levels on follow through. So that's a little bit of a red flag. 322.59 was the next resistance level, and we didn't really get too close to that. So we're still in a daily uptrend as long as we hold 265.40. But again, just a little bit of a red flag, the fact that we did not break more resistance levels. 4-hour higher low is trying to form. We have pulled back a solid 5% from that top at this point. I would be cautious as a BSV bull. We can be confident when we get volume and follow through. We don't have that right now. Link USD, daily higher low clearly established at 267. 294 resistance being tested right now. And again, this is another one that is shaping up a bit like a rising wedge, which we would just need to keep an eye on. I would be looking at that right there. So if we were to break resistance and get no follow through, it shows us the bulls are tired, and we would then look to come back down and probably hold another daily higher low. But this is just a rising wedge is an exhaustion pattern. It's higher highs breaking with no follow through, which eventually rolls over into a bear break. So all about 294 resistance in the short term, and the 4-hour uptrend still intact as well. We'll see if the bulls can break 294. Dash, daily higher low is clear at 108. Resistance 128, and we are within that tightening range. We've been within that range for a while. Volume really dropping off. Dash caught a lot of attention back in mid-January. Still in a nice daily uptrend since then, but not seeing the explosive volume and movement that we saw back then. Let's see if we get in a tightening range. Maybe it's a 12-hour equilibrium. Not exactly, but high, low. Looks like a lower high at 124.42. And we'll look for a higher low compared to 108.04. So that's where we stand in the cryptocurrency space as a whole. That background noise is the sound of a squirrel trying to scale a glass window. It's wet and slippery out, but he got it. Bird feeder accomplished. So bulls still in full control. We know to be a little bit cautious because we are seeing some short-term signs of just a bit extended, not a ton of follow-through. The 4-hour time frame will be our guides. Then the daily uptrend will be our guides. If we lose the daily uptrend, we're going to look for weekly higher lows and expect that bulls are going to be looking to buy those weekly higher lows because of how much space we have since the last weekly support levels were established. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to do good things out there. Check out TraderPro.com, free trial, cancel anytime. See if that alert system can help let you know when opportunities are presenting themselves. And we'll see you very soon. Have a good rest of your day. Got to give a shout out to member RCW Sound. Commissioned some glass work from him. Pretty sweet TheChartGuys panel. Gonna hang that next to my trading desk. Pretty cool to have so many people with so many talents all in one place.